Welcome, friends. This is Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric, and today we're going to take a look at Mizzou's loss at Kentucky. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, and if you like this video, give us some likes. Now, before we get into the game, I want to mention, hey, I'm in a different place. If you watch Under the Arch Sports regularly, you kind of know the background room I'm normally in. Well, that's all packed up and on the way back to the United States. I'm in the Air Force. I'm stationed in England, and everything just got packed up in the past week. So I'm in an empty room. So that's why the room's different, and if there's an echo in this, I'm in an empty room. There's not really a whole lot I can do about that. So sorry in advance if it sounds a little squirrely. Anyway, on to the game. The final score was 35-28. It was not that close. I didn't think so anyway. I thought it was a minor miracle. Mizzou found itself tied in the fourth quarter. As far as overall impressions of the game, it's all about the line of scrimmage, especially defensively. Mizzou just does not have the guys to be able to line up and play, especially with teams that are decent or better, which Kentucky is. So that's the biggest problem right now for this team, and that is the biggest reason that Mizzou lost. This offense is going to rely, obviously, on Connor Bazelak, but Tyler Beatty. It'll go as far as Tyler Beatty can carry it. He is so far the only legitimate running threat. You want to see Elijah Young get more involved. Receiving, Tyler Beatty is one of the biggest threats. That's a testament to him, but you want to see receivers become bigger threats. So we'll see how that develops as the season continues. And the fact that Mizzou is in this game, score-wise, I think that is a testament to the coaching staff. This team is outmatched against Kentucky, talent-wise. Kentucky has a more talented roster. So I think it's a credit to the coaching staff that Mizzou was in this thing till the end. Let's take a look at the offense. And Connor Bazelak, not perfect, but very good. 294, I think, yards and 4 touchdowns. He did have the interception. It wasn't a brutal interception like something that you might see where he's staring a guy down or something. It wasn't that bad. Jacquez Jones, I believe, made the pick. That was a heck of a play. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Again, Tyler Beatty. He had 10 receptions. First Mizzou running back ever with 10 receptions in a game. And he's going to be the first Mizzou player with 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. That's going to happen this season, which is just it's impressive. There's no other way to say it. That's awesome. There was not, however, very much push from the offensive line, and that is something that you want to see improve. You can scheme around it to a certain extent, but the offensive line has got to play better. They just have to. There's just not anything else you can say about that. And you're still wanting to see the deep ball out of Mizzou. Kentucky did, to me, it seemed like they kind of sold out to stop the deep ball, but you still have to try it. Doesn't mean you just force it, be reckless with it, but when there's an opportunity, take a shot. They did take one on a first down late, maybe on that final drive, but you got to do 5 or 6 throughout the game, I think. Otherwise, the defense can just crash down, and they won't respect the threat of someone running right by them. Now, moving on to the defense. Ugh. So the front six was a disaster. Front six because Mizzou plays a 4-2-5. So running back for Kentucky, whoever it was, they were getting to the second level untouched so often. The holes were gaping, and the secondary was having to make a lot of plays. That's never a good thing when your secondary is getting a lot of tackles on run plays. The line needs to, just hold their mud a little better. There was one play. There's not a lot of coaching that can be done. The only thing I can think of that was weird was there was one time where both defensive tackles were lined up outside the A gaps. So they were both lined up like on the outside of either guard, which was kind of weird. But that was only one play, and sure enough, Kentucky ran for like 10 yards on that play. Well, also the linebackers. Blaze Aldridge is okay. He's racking up stats, which is nice, I guess. But he's the only linebacker who is even serviceable so far. Devin Nicholson and Chad Bailey are just not good enough. They are liabilities out there. But the problem is there's nobody better to take the other linebacker spot. So what do? There's not a whole lot you can do. Other opposing offenses are going to see that Chad Bailey, Devin Nicholson, they can't hang. They are, there's over pursuit and a simple cutback and they're out of the play, or they can't shed a block and they just, in the midst of getting pushed back, reach out and, watch running back go by. They have to improve. They just have to. On the defensive line, I really wonder, is Mekhi Wingo the best defensive tackle Mizzou has? He played a little bit against Central Michigan. He played a lot more, at least that I noticed, against Kentucky. For a true freshman to be one of, if not your best, that means you either have a real good player or you're not good. And Mekhi Wingo, the coaching staff certainly thought he was underrated, but it's not like he was some 5-star national recruit that Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and everybody else wanted. So it's encouraging for the future, but not so good for this season that Mekhi Wingo is contributing this quickly. As far as the secondary goes, Jalen Carlisle is really good. He's going to be awesome as he develops. And secondary, they didn't have that much because Kentucky just didn't try to throw the football because they didn't have to. So not a whole lot to say about the secondary. But let's talk about what this game means in the big picture sense. It means that Kentucky probably is going to finish ahead of Mizzou in the SEC East standings. I'm pretty sure the winner of this game has close to, if not each of every year since Mizzou's joined the conference. I think Mizzou is looking at maybe challenging for third, but probably not. As far as the line play, I think everyone needs to realize it's going to be a struggle all season. Offensively, there are ways to scheme around that. Case Cook, your right guard, like Maietti, center. Those are your two strongest points on the line, I would argue. So, maybe you do a higher percentage of your running plays to the right side. Things like that. Defensively, there's not a whole lot you can do. Opposing teams are the ones who are, they're calling the play. So the defense can try to put themselves in a position, but at the end of the day, it's the offense who chooses if it's a run or a pass and which direction and all that. I do want to speak to penalties. We talked about discipline being a big reason Mizzou was able to beat Central Michigan. It hurt Mizzou, particularly in the first half. There's a handful of procedure penalties, false start offsides. Those were rough. I know Nico Hay had a false start I believe it was a 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 and inside, like in the red zone. That was bad. Then the turnovers. We talked about Basilak's interception. The fumbles for Kentucky. The only reason Mizzou was close. The turnovers rather. The interception by Carlisle and the fumble right at the goal line. Those right there are the only reasons that Mizzou was even in this game. And that's because there is a talent gap. Mizzou does not have football players as talented as Kentucky does. So if Kentucky plays a good game, there's not a whole lot Mizzou can do about it. Kentucky played fairly well. Mizzou played well enough to hang, but not to win. So that's all I've got on this game. Mizzou will head into week 3. They're going to play FCS SEMO, and they'll try and regroup and iron some of these issues out. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope to see you next time.